gonna try to be really brief with this message. Okay, so if you guys check the transits, you'll see that there's a heavy emphasis with the Plutonian force right now, which is it rules over power, the abuse, misuse, or use of power altogether. This is what Pluto represents. If you want to hear more details about that, you can check out my reading when I said, can you relate? I think I go into depth about the Plutonian energies there. So anyway, what we're really getting here, I want you guys to consider, for those of you who are familiar with biblical stories and references, I want you to think of when Yeshua went out into the wilderness on his own, and then the serpent approached him and basically tempted him in the desert or whatever. Y'all know that he was fasting. Some of you guys could have been fasting during this time. You could have been divinely guided, or your body could have naturally wanted to fast at this time because there's this deep purge going on, especially with emotional energy, right? Whether these was derived from love, false love, fake love, whatever the case may be. But a lot of things come into surface regarding the most hidden of things, even which includes like hidden ways that people among us that could even appear as colleagues are abusing their power of influence with you or with others. So more so of this information coming out, as well as information about kidnappings, information about hidden places, hidden things, information about murders. Some of you guys could be, if for those of you who communicate with the underworld or who can pick up messages from people who are on the other side, these people may be communicating with you. You may be getting a lot of downloads or channel messages from them. They may be trying to tell their story through you. So if you read cards or something like that, you don't even have to read cards to pick up on this information. But for example, if you read cards or whatever, you may be able to communicate with them at this time. They're working with you because this is their way of getting justice. Some of you guys are judges, right? Some of you guys are light, and you're placed in places in particularly not just to be there for you to experience it and have your own human goals and whatever, but also for you to co-create and work on assignment for spirit in the spirit realm, right? We're co-creators. We're spiritual, having a natural experience. Those of us who are spiritual warriors that are put on the front lines in order to bring these things to surface or bring these things out, these mysteries, these unsolved crimes, and those type of things, right? What's underneath? What is the undermining thing, or the underlying thing that's causing this or triggering this thing, or behind this person's attitudes or behaviors or whatever. It also rules dictatorship. It rules orgasms, very intense orgasms, ego death orgasms. So we're talking like tantric sex. So some of you guys could be having people feel very strongly magnetically sexually attracted to you or feeling pulled towards you. Some of you guys can feel this in just your body. People can be being very bold and making it known to you. Some of you guys, you could be seeing people in your dream state or whatever, but you could even be picking up on things like, or just the energy itself. For those of you who are in partnerships, your sex, you will notice that your sex is much more intense at this time. That's because Pluto is one of the most intense planets of all of the transits or all of the planetary systems, right? Well, the planet. I know there's like a lot of skepticism around, is Pluto even a planet, but at the end of the day, one thing you cannot deny is how on point the associations of Pluto and its energy it is. It literally rules over power and influence. One of the remarks that I can recall, it basically said, although it is the furthest away and the smallest, it has like one of the strongest power and influence, right? So another message that some of you guys can be getting downloads about, you could be getting downloads about David. David and Goliath, right? I know I talk about this a lot, but y'all know that David was a small stature, but he was a very powerful person. So if we was to go into detail about when he, made this grand defeat of Goliath, right, of the giant. So another thing too that would be confirmation for y'all could be coming across videos and references and stuff like that about the giants that actually walked this earth, right? Find more information is coming out, like their bodies, their skeletons, all these things are not just giant humans, but giant creatures, our animals, right? So something about we used to be bigger than what we actually are, and about us shrinking and stuff like that, right? So some of you guys could be finding out, coming across information like that. This is confirmation as well. But anyway, so another thing about David, right? So we already understand that David, he was not just basing on his own power, relying on his own power alone, right? He understood that to have like to really have the greatest power of all, then you have to be connected to source, right? You have to be have your power, your willpower, like literally generated or like propelled by a divine force or a force of some kind. So for some people that force is not divine. Some people that force is low vibrational, demonic, or evil, however you want to call it, right? Some people are operating out of low vibrational places of themselves in that energy, and you will be able to notice or tell, but it's going to be challenged and crafty. Okay, why? Because you know how people say with new levels there are new devils. So as you raise or rise in your spiritual consciousness, you become more strategic to what's going on, to understanding all levels of warfare and whatever the case may be. You're more skilled. The more skilled you become, it's like you're going to be tested on that. So it's almost like taking the SATs of Earth School, like taking goddamn the ACT for mystery school, like whatever the case may be. Like it's kind of this energy going on. Also, for example, let's some of you guys beware of like emotional quarrels, or like if you're if there's some type of emotional thing, or what's the word I'm looking for, a catalyst of some sort where you're stirred up in your emotions or whatever, or you can be confused. Confusion is a dominant energy at this time too, that's in the collective. So that's another energy that's present, and people are playing off that. There are some energies that are literally intentionally trying to mush up people's mind. For some of you guys, this is spell work involved or whatever, or witchcraft or sorcery is involved in this. People's thoughts, because even your thoughts, the thoughts that you generate towards a person is considered sorcery, right? Because we know that thoughts, manifest into reality. So people could be trying to manifest you or manifest outcomes of certain things into your reality so that they can slither into your life, like literally on some sneaky, like crafty shit, right? This is this energy. Okay, so you may be having like these people, you may notice certain energies or people coming back around or something, like they come in right at a moment where you feel like somewhat of a vulnerability of some sort, right? This is you being tested. For some of you, your vulnerability is you fasting, and so you being weaker, but this is by choice because you're fasting. Like some of you guys are, you've been led to do this for divine purposes. And another reason you've been led to do this too is so that you can be better on your P's and Q's during this retrograde, during this time, because energies are very fucking crafty. Like, so boom, it's another message too. Some of you guys, because of your power, some of you guys have a very strong power and influence, right? You're in that vibratory field. So you're going to cross paths with other people who are very powerful. They have a powerful or a strong influence, whether they are benevolent or malevolent. So there's an automatic like competition coming here. Just like there can be positive competition. Some of you guys could be understanding positive competition more. But the reason why you are attracting these people, why? Is because who else can overcome or conquer this giant? Not these... Yeah, there's a whole army over here with knives and swords and shit, but their spirit is too weak. They're not strong enough spiritually. They're not strong or powerful enough spiritually to be able to take on this giant, or even have the mindset, mentality, the faith, right? The belief to be, to go out, basically to defeat it, right? So that's why those of us, even though we may be small, some of us may be small in stature, or we may come off as like, we may appear non-violent, or we just don't automatically come off like, oh, we're somebody who you should be intimidated by. Most of the time is when people experience our energy, our essence, when we open up our mouth, or just being in our presence. When people experience our energy directly, that's when intimidation arises or whatever, because people are not just looking at you and your stature. People are starting to peek in or see your light, your strength of spirit. Right? So this is why you may be targeted even though everyone else around you isn't. It's because your spirit is the strongest. That's why whatever that low vibrational energy is attacks you the most. You become the target. You're the target, even though you are innocent in the situation. Another biblical story that keeps coming up is Job, right? Y'all know Job, he started off in abundance. Some of you guys started off like in abundant, comfortable living situations. Not everybody, but this could just be materially, right? Let's say you could have been like a very innocent person, all that shit, right? You could have started off with somewhat of abundance, or having things like a car, or just, whatever, right? Whatever. Being blessed in that manner, like your clothes, your whatever. And you could have had family members who was covetous of your life or covetous of your light. Maybe, let's say you was a generous person because you was really thinking from like your general traditional virtues of spirit towards your family values. You was really sincere in that. So you was being loyal and giving love and giving to these people, being generous to these people. Some of you guys were naive in a situation of how you was being manipulated and taken advantage of for what you provided. Right? For what came with you when they was in association with you. Some of these people try to literally lure you into danger, or like into traps, death traps. So it's kind of this energy coming up now. energy about you getting confirmations and like puzzle pieces coming together about these past energies happening, or past times or situations that you was in, and you getting more clarity and confirmation about it. Some of you guys are finding out that you came close to being trafficked, or there was like times when people literally tried to traffic you, or you're being able, or you're getting more clues and details on the signs and how to recognize it, and why you was removed from certain situations when you was. Right? Another thing you would notice too, whenever you are in this vulnerable state, whatever this case may be, like with Yeshua, he was fasting whenever he was in the wilderness, is when the serpent approached him, and he figured because Yeshua was somewhat, weaker, right, judging him off the flesh, or whatever the case may be, he tried to tempt him with promises of the kingdoms of the world and riches and materials and all this shit. So some of y'all could be having motherfuckers coming in. You're being tested. You're on that level. Understand, you are on that level. Right? And this is why you had to fast, so you can be clear-minded, even if your emotions does get stirred up. But spiritually, you won't be dismayed, right? Spiritually, you're going to grasp the shit. You're going to catch the shit, right? You're going to be quick with it because of the fasting, or you not being overly indulgent on things that deter the spirit, right? Okay, what's another thing? Not being like drunken-minded. So something about you being sober-minded, or like your sober spirit here being challenged. Another thing about Plutonian energy is that it challenges one's own convictions. Basically, it challenges the courage of your own conviction. So our conviction in the Most High is being challenged at this time. Our courage behind the Most High, right? And steadfastness in that is being challenged at this time as well. So let's say you can have crafty energies who are just as powerful their influence, just as smart and intelligent, whatever the case may be, and they could be giving you information where they present you with some truths and they present you with some lies, manipulating their power and influence, right, to get you to dissuade you or deter you from your conviction originally. Some of you guys, Spirit already gave you confirmation and messages about these people once before, right? And that emotional energy, or these emotional storms, or whatever the case may be, whatever vulnerability that may be for you, it could be money, it could be anything for anybody, right? Whatever that is, that's supposed to like get you to think that basically these people can't be promised you everything that you've been acquiring the Most High for, right? Do not be fooled. Do not be fooled, and make sure you speak with the Most High and get your confirmation and your clarity on that before you make any permanent decisions. Y'all know with retrograde, you shouldn't be making anything like really life-altering, like permanent decisions at this time anyway. It's not recommended, right? What's another thing? Yeah. What else? For those of you who are familiar or you're wizened when it comes to biblical text as well, some of you guys may be being pulled or encouraged to read Proverbs and Hebrews, the book of Hebrews at this time. What else? Also, after that first offer, you receiving that offer during that moment of vulnerability, and this person literally promising you everything, and it seems like very believable, like the influence is very strong, but there's you're going to recognize things in whatever is like being presented to you. You're going to recognize the outliers. You're going to recognize like the crafty, the you know what I'm saying, the wickedness that lies in between, right? You're going to hear the of the snake within their speech and their charisma, right? Whatever you're going to hear that. You guys are going to be able to identify that, and you're being tested on being able to discern and identify that, right? Whether you are in a vulnerable state or not, you're being tested. This is the same test that Yeshua was in when he was in the wilderness. Okay, boom. Shortly after that, let's say if you do pass it, you see it for what it is, right? Something about the next offers that come in, right? Actually being the offer of the Most High, or being a divinely guided, orchestrated offer. After you accurately notice or identify that this offer is not, this ain't it, right? Even though it is very convincing. So what else? Okay, so Plutonian energy, it rules over. Okay. I got everything. All right, so as you can see in the thumbnail, we have the shapeshifter card. This card fell out last night. I want to say it fell out, and I didn't realize that it was on my floor until today. And all the messages, the downloads I was getting today is literally like taking me back to this, and it's related to what happened to me last night. Because last night I was on my own personal reading and communing with the Most High and the divine ancestors and archangels, because it happened with me last night. So I wanted to get messages and clarity, because that's literally, y'all, I'm telling you, that's how convincing it is. That's how crafty it is. But y'all have to know that you are even more craftier than that. But you're craftier in a divine sense. What messages do you have? Can you clarify the shapeshifter energy? Shapeshifter, transform and unveil your gifts. Transform and unveil your gifts. So some of you guys, some people's, look, the moon card, the fucking moon card. So okay. Transform. So for some of y'all, this could happen at night. This energy could be more prominent in the nighttime, where this comes out of people, or where it's like triggered in the people who are abusing it, or whatever the case may be. Something about at nighttime. But you know, the moon card also represents secrets, right? So this secretive, sneaky energy, like we're talking about, like very sneaky ass energies, like this type of sneaky. Take your money and then help you look for it, and really act like they're concerned and they care, and you know, they care about you losing your money, and they really want you to find it. That's how crafty like it is, like right under your nose type shit. Some of you guys are finding out that there's some energies that's literally been wishing, like plotting on you for a while, like praying on you for a while, even probably contributing, sending some type of ripples to you, so that the situation basically moves in their favor, or like there are certain circumstances that occur with you that puts you in a place where you become available to them, or it's easier for them to come to you. For some of you guys, like I said, there's people who's been plotting and watching you for a minute, and like really like and why? Because something about your energy, y'all ain't nothing to play with. So basically, motherfuckers better study before they approach you. They better study whatever they're gonna say to you before they approach you. Look, sneaky energy, 7 of Swords. 7 of Swords. Transform and unveil your gifts. So you're seeing people's gifts. Let's say that they do have gifts. They're smart as fuck. They can be very intelligent, because that's the Swords too. Or they can be very good with their speech, or very articulate or charismatic. Right? Broad vocabulary, like very knowledgeable, informed individual, right? So something about look, very knowledgeable on life here. You see that with the Ankh here? It can be these type of energies, but something about them transforming their gifts to abuse the power of their influence with the information. So they could be trying to use the information to persuade you, or coercion. Coercion is another word associated with Plutonian energy. They may be trying to coerce you into doing something that they want with the knowledge that they have, right? So abusing that power of having that information. Look, we have the Justice card here. Justice. All right, for some of you guys, narcissism is kind of like showing its ugly head here. And then for other people, they're really seeing how they've been acting out of like the Pluto energy of power and influence in a low vibrational manner, right? And they're going through a renewal here, because Pluto is known as the renewal planet, right? We got the Chariot here, the Chariot, forward movement, and then we got 5 of Swords. Trying to remember the energy of 5 of Swords right now. Also, for any of you, like if you have like this type of energy coming in, and you guys read cards, or you have some cards like with swords and stuff in it, if you do a read on that person's energy and a whole bunch of swords and shit come out, y'all, this was the first time I had so many goddamn swords come out for one fucking person. Also, look, the High Priestess. The High Priestess will keep coming out as well, like to let you know you on point, like with the messages, right? High Priestess is the what happens with High Priestess? High Priestess find out the mysteries. The mysteries gets revealed to her. What's another thing too? You remember how we kept saying before how solitude, sometimes some mysteries can only be revealed in solitude? Yeah, look, war, spiteful energy here. Look at all these swords. 6 of Swords, 6 of Swords. So something about us moving away from these energies, or escaping these energies, or not falling for it. Another thing I was hearing too was like cheating death type of energy. Cheating death, cheating traps, cheating bondage. This is what you guys are doing. Look, 2 of Wands. So these decisions, These decisions being presented with 2 different offers, 2 different options, that type of shit here. You got to make the right decision, right? Look, 9 of Cups. One of them brings wish fulfillment. The other one is a goddamn trap. You see that shit? 8 of Wands. I mean 8 of Swords. Look, I'm telling you, somebody was targeting you. You could have. For some of you, you've been in a partnership and these individuals were still entitled enough to target you and still make you their focus and their prize and trying to will things to happen so that they can get you, right? Whether that be relationship conflict, whatever the case may be, but doing little shit or whatever to make the odds work in their favor, right? For some of you, this is a love offer. Some of you guys, you know how we just how Venus is in retrograde, we just went into Libra season, the fucking house of relationships. For some of you, this is regarding love here. Some of you guys can have a lot of love offers coming in, but something about the details. Pay attention to the details. Like, for example, there could be let's say you have somebody where they do have some type of interest toward you, but they're very respectful of your energy. They're not forceful. They're patient, right? They're very respectful. Let's say there's somebody like that, and then let's say there's somebody that's undergoing some type of cycle here of renewal, right? Where, you know, some space is required at the time. And let's say you have another person who's very, very smart and crafty, and they have all the information. They seem like they can provide you everything, but there's something about that person that was already revealed to you that basically Spirit tells you, no, that's a deal breaker, right? But they could be trying to come back around at this time, right, and convince you otherwise. Okay. Yes, this is somebody who was studying you, or studying, like, what should I say to you, or I don't know. For some of you guys, for some people, there's an energy here of yo-yoing emotions. Look, the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles. So literally going after the top divine. Look, I'm telling you, divine feminines and divine masculines. You are the gold. You are the prize. You are the prize. Something about an abundance that's coming in for you too. Look, 2 of Wands. I mean 2 of Swords. Why I keep saying Wands? 2 of Swords. And like I said, this could have even been impulsive here, right? Because, you know, Pluto and Mars, like, they're like co-partners. And so, like, Pluto, you know, Pluto and Mars rule Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by these planets, and then its detriment is in Taurus, right? Now, y'all know I'm a Taurus, and y'all see how I get now. Y'all know Taurus is also ruled by Venus. Taurus is also very the stable energy, right? They're considered stability and practical and this, that, all that shit, right? Very grounding, very matter-of-factly type energies. So it's detriment. It cannot, if somebody is abusing that power, and let's say you have a very strong Taurus, like, grounded energy, like grounded with your emotions, because, you know, earth energy holds water. Like, you're very grounded in your faith. You're very grounded in your convictions, right? They're not going to, look, your strength here. You are strong in your convictions here. So Taurus also represents strength, right? We think about the bull energy, that strength. That strength. This is also talking about you being a scholar of spirit. You study to show yourself approved here. You passing these tests because you study. You guys study a lot. You study a lot. Look, King of Cups. We got King of Cups energy here. For some of you guys, this is just somebody's feelings towards you, but this is also talking about your intuition. Look, so there's a love interest here, having a new perspective here because they're undergoing some type of renewal here and purging some type of energies here. Yep, this is talking about a relationship. A relationship, this could also be a home situation. And then we got the 6 of Cups here. Innocence. You are innocent in a situation. Somebody needs to know that you are innocent. You are innocent. So think about Job. Job was innocent in that situation, right? But listen, he started off with abundant and comfort. He started off with that shit, right? So because he started off with that, and he could have been faithful and loyal to the Most High and everything, a good man, a good wise man, nice to people, generous to people, da-da-da-da. But because he started off that way, that means that kind of put him at a disadvantage of being wise spiritually about the people that was around him and their reasons for being around him, right? So when he lost everything, when he got struck with illness and this, that, and the third, and his friends was gaslighting him, or they was really showing their true colors, basically, and instead of empowering him, they was abusing their influence of being his friend, right, and having a history with him. They abused the power of their influence to discourage him even more and gaslight him when he was already feeling down, right? That's what they did to him. He lost his fucking children. He lost his health, or his health was afflicted. One of the last things that happened was his own partner his own partner, because of everything that was going on and everything that they had lost. She lost hope and she was becoming faithless or weakened in her faith, right, in her convictions. So she was trying to convince him, or she was looking at him, because he's still praying to the Most High, even though he didn't know why. Y'all, Job even had a whole moment when he was going back and forth with God, like, why are you doing this to me? You must not love me no more. I guess you don't care about me. Like, why are you doing, what did I do? What did I do? He even had that moment, right? He had that moment. He had that moment. Some of you guys, you had that moment when you was questioning God. You could have questioned God because of the circumstances and how it just don't fucking add up. It don't align. It don't make sense. How, when I'm out here contributing love and peace and truth, why am I still reaping bullshit, right? But when everybody else got flaky and shit like that, he said, naked I came in this world, naked I shall leave. I don't know why, I don't understand, but every wisdom that I've ever had came from source. Ever. And that's the only thing reliable enough for me to stand on, because obviously everything else can be taken away just like that, right? So this is something about this energy here. This is the type of energy going on here. Also, pay attention that if the magician card comes out with a 7 of swords for somebody in your energy, or with their offer or whatever, but true offer, there's a true offer here. There's a true loving offer here for the divine. Think about Job, when Job lost all that, and he just basically was like, I'm standing on my convictions no matter what. Y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. I'm sticking with God. He was blessed with more than he ever had, 3 times much as what he ever had. And you know the difference? The people around him was faithful. The people around him was genuine and true, was real soul, family, and tribe, right? Look. We got judgment, the world. Judgment over the world. Look, we got King of Pentacles, the Empress. There's a divine partnership here in the making. There's a divine partnership here. And this is also talking about people going after, people wanting the hand of the Empress or the Emperor, right? Or wanting their abundance. Look, this is the truth. This is the motherfucking truth. This can be communities as well. Like this, like I said, collective energy, temperaments here. So there's some balance being brought to this situation here after some chaos here, possibly, or some attacks here, some desperate attempts. We got the 4 of Pentacles, so it could have been money. Yep. We got 10 of Swords here. So there could have been some anxiety around this. This was because of magic. This was because of magic here. But this is being healed. There's something being healed here. There's a lot of healing going on even with this fuck shit. It's like, for example, even though, like, with the pain and shit like that, right? There's a healing that's happening. Like, an example that I was telling someone was, you know how when you do cardio and your heart is pumping more, it's strengthening the muscle of your heart muscle, because the heart is a muscle, right? So think about whenever you're upset, you're crying, this, that, and the third, and like your heart racing and shit like that, or you know, you and your emotions and stuff, your heart is actually being strengthened. You being sensitive and being able to feel is not a weakness. Somebody needs to know that. Somebody needs to know that. Yep, confirmation. We got the Queen of Cups and then the Queen of Wands. This is somebody who is highly spiritual, highly intuitive and discerning, right? Highly intentional, highly devout, anointed. Look, the Fool card on the floor. You are no fool. You are nobody's fool. You're not walking into anybody's traps either. I don't care what the situation look like at the moment. All right, this your girl, the Authentic Empress, though. I love you guys. See you next time.